Hi, this is Mike from the Military Traveler, and today we're at the Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs, Colorado, not far from the base of the Pikes Peak, and you'll probably see Pikes Peak later in this video. But right now we're going to start the tour of Garden of the Gods. We're going to start by going upstairs to the visitor center and the nature exhibits. We start our tour on the inside of the visitor center. There's a nature exhibit, and it tells you a little bit about what happened here to form the Garden of the Gods with the rock formations. Also, it explains some of the animals and the trees and fauna that you have in the Garden of the Gods, and a lot of the history of the Gardens of the Gods. From the patio outside the Garden of the Gods Visitor Center, you get a great view of the larger of the rocks that are in the Garden of the Gods, and we're going to go down there and drive through and walk some of the trails because there's a lot more on the other side of those rocks. On our first stop inside the park, we ran into a herd of bighorn sheep. There are 7 or 8 of them, and this is sometimes called Kindergarten Rock, but it's really known as Gray Rock. So this first big rock here had this big herd, and this is a nature area. There are plenty of animals out here. They also say to watch for snakes, so just keep your eyes open and see what you might find. Now we're on the Gateway Perkins Central Garden Trail. It's approximately 2.5 miles long. You don't have to take the entire trail, and you could just do parts of it, park in one location, do a little bit of it, and then move to another part. But right here, as you can see, the trail is, at least most of the trails are all sidewalk type trails. They're what's considered moderate because there's a slight elevation but change, but not really anything major. The rocks that we have here is that we have first here on the left, the South Gateway Rock, and then on the right side we have what is called the Kissing Camels. Probably can see that better from the other side, but you can kind of see the hump of the camel here. Kissing Camels. And then the North Gateway Rock is also on the other side of it. And then in the middle, in between the rocks, we have the Sentinel Spires. They're called the Twin Spires also. So as you walk around this particular trail, you see a bunch of different rock formations. And like I said, this is just a very small portion of Garden of the Gods. It's a very large area with a lot of different rock formations. The best part about this too is that it's all free. There's no entrance fee, because when the Garden of the Gods was deeded over to the city of Colorado Springs, the family said that they had to keep it free. Now, there are things inside that may cost, like going to the theater, or there's a coffee shop and a gift shop, so you can buy souvenirs. That would cost money, but the rest of this park is completely free. So now I'm looking at the Sleeping Giant. It's near the center of the park, and here in the center of the park is where most of the formations are. I believe that this one here that I'm looking at right now is Three Graces. The map that they gave us shows 17 different rock formations, although as you walk around you see some smaller ones that don't have names. Like I said earlier, the trails, there are 5 walking trails like the one that I'm on right now that, you know, are real easy to walk. They're just like a sidewalk, but there's probably 4 or 5 miles of trails like this, but there's parking lots all over the place, so you don't have to walk the entire trail. And then there's about 10 of the trails like this where they become more of a gravel. So now we're on the Upper Loop Trail. It's a small connecting trail that just goes for a short loop that will take you to the tip of the Sleeping Giant and to the backside of Gray Rock. So at the top of the trail is a rock formation that they actually allow you to get on, climb, and you can look out over to Pikes Peak. I told you that you'd be getting a video of Pikes Peak. It's not too far from here. Manitou Springs is at the base of the mountain. You can see the incline right in the center of the hill in front of me. It's that white spot going straight up the the hill, and then of course the peak directly behind that. At the top of this formation you can climb, and then you can also look over between the rock formations. You can see the city of Colorado Springs. So this is near parking lot number 5, and this is probably one of the better views in the park. You can see several of the rock formations all at one time, and can see just how large this park is. What I'm showing you right now is the majority of the rock formations, but the park itself is, probably 5-10 times larger than what you're seeing in this video right here. At the farthest point of the park is one of the more iconic photographs and rocks that you'll find in the park. It's called the Balancing Rock, and that's where a lot of Instagram folks go to take a picture in front of the balanced rock. So this is an area that you could probably spend at least a couple hours walking through. It depends on how much you like nature. There's miles and miles of hiking. Like I said, you can either stay on the concrete trails, or you can get off the trails and do some real hiking. There's also a lot of biking trails. You cannot climb on the rocks unless you have a permit to actually climb. I'm not sure how much the permit costs, but for safety reasons, they don't just let anyone do it. You actually have to be trained and have a permit. There's not many rules. I mean, you can have your dogs here, which is great. It's a great outdoor area for the dogs to run around. They do have to be on a leash. But, you know, for a free park, this is one of the best places that you'll find. These rocks are about 250 million years old. And when you're in the visitor center, you can read all about it and learn about this area. But very fascinating trip. I would highly recommend it. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, or follow us on our blog page at www.themilitarytraveler.com, and there'll be descriptions and information in the description below. Thank you very much for watching.